Good morning. Welcome to Winnipeg. Now, you knew I was going to use the new Enterprise mug today, didn't you? Yes, you should have. I don't know which angle this thing looks best at. I think what I should have done is put where it says USS Enterprise CV6. I should have maybe had that a little larger and a little bolder. I'm not going to order another one just for that. And probably looks best like that, where you can see the conning tower. See, I'm looking at the monitor. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. Now, couldn't believe it. Minus 19.3. It looks so nice out. The sun just rose a little while ago, nice and bright. You think, oh, spring. No, winter. Yeah, well, it's okay. I think in a couple of days it's supposed to be plus 6 or plus 7, Max was saying. Let's not forget today, and if I turn this off for any reason, to remember to turn it back on. Yeah. Okay, we are ready. Yeah, that was funny yesterday. Not really funny, but anyway. Okay, so yesterday afternoon I was here at the model table and I was just sort of finalizing in my mind what colors I want. If you remember, I had said I was going to paint the barrels black. I've decided I'm not going to paint them black. I'm going to paint them the 77. So I thought, I should write this stuff down on the manual. So I took my mechanical pencil here, which I turned myself. I actually made this. And I wrote down, here we got XF77, XF20, XF66, and a little arrow was pointing to the various parts. So that later on when I think, what color did I paint that? If I remember that in step 2 I wrote it down. Now I have to remember that that's where I wrote it down. There might be another way I could do this, but at the moment this is the only thing that comes to mind. Yeah, so anyway, I write everything down, and then a little while later, probably 2 or 3 hours later, I'm checking my my email and comments and what have you, and here somebody had suggested doing this exact thing. Yeah. Is there some sort of mental telepathy? I don't believe in that superstitious type of stuff anymore, but sometimes you wonder. I do believe in coincidences, though. Yes, I believe in coincidences. But not karma and all that kind of stuff. Okay, we are going to have to thin our paints. This one here has never been opened, the XF20. That is going to be for the sides of the upper part. We are going to thin our paint. I have had really good luck using these cheap little strainers that came from Amazon. They're actually a lot bigger than this, but I cut them down so that they're more convenient for modeling. And I have never had any problem with plugging or anything like that, like I used to have years ago. Now, another thing I find that I thin my paint, I think, a lot more than I used to originally, too. I thin the paint and I use a lower pressure. Today, I'm guessing I'm going to try doing it around 10 pounds and try and very, very gently spray the parts, especially the guns and what have you, where there's a fair amount of detail. Don't want to be flooding it on and losing the detail. Although as I've said probably 100 times, I find that the XF paints have a wonderful, what you might call a shrink wrapping ability. When they dry, it seems like 90% of the paint goes into the air, and it just leaves the residue on the undulating part, on the detail, so you don't lose it. That's one of the reasons I really like this paint. And another reason is that it cleans up so extremely well with Windex or anything. Yeah, so and it's cheap. And the Eliminator RC has it in stock. I mean, they've had every color in stock every time I've gone there that I wanted it. So it's a readily available particular paint, even though some of the other brands might actually be a better quality paint. For me, this is the best. So I'm going to go with what I'm happy with. What are we going to do here today? When I adjusted my surveillance camera this morning a little bit more over the bridge, I thought, I wonder if the walkers are going to come back. I'm thinking that possibly that, you remember the time we saw them waving goodbye and then we never saw them anymore? I wonder if they went south for the winter. I wouldn't blame them if they did. A lot of people here in Winnipeg do. They'll go Arizona or Mexico. Like Max next door, he went to Mexico about 3 winters ago and spent the whole winter there. If you remember, I was watching his house. Yeah, here's me in the freezing cold, and he's down there walking on a beach in his bathing suit. Oh yeah, that's life. Well, I guess I could do that too if I wanted to. But you know what? I think I enjoyed myself more here at the model table, complaining about the winter. But it's almost over. It's almost over. I'm guessing that. Well, today is March the 1st, I think. Yep, March the 1st. Yeah, 3-1. Okay, so I would think that possibly a month from now I'll have my new bike. Yeah, I'm not going to take delivery until the driveway and everything like that is completely clear of snow and ice and muck. But as soon as I can get out, it could even be the end of this month. I'll be out, on the Rebel yet, because that's the idea that the Bill's cycle is going to come and they're going to drop off the new bike and take my old bike in trade. That's the way it's going to go. At least that's the plan right now. Now the only other thing was I could drive it out to Bill's cycle, like they could ride my Rebel out there, make the switch, but then there's a problem with license plates and stuff like that. You can't just take the license plate off of the one and stick it on the other. I think years ago you used to be able to do that sort of thing, and they gave you like 7 days or something to actually make the switch with the insurance company, but you can't do that anymore as far as I know. So I would sooner just be able to do it all right here in Winnipeg. Bill's cycle, by the way, is about an hour ride from right here. And it'll be cold, and I don't want to be going 100 kilometers an hour with a icy cold wind blowing over me. I don't know if my old system could cope with that sort of thing anymore. So, although when I went for my last ride on November the 21st was my last ride, and then the next day it snowed and the snow stayed. We had some really, really cold weather. I think my last ride, the temperature was actually a little bit below freezing. But I wasn't out there for an hour at 100 kilometers an hour either. So, anyway, I'm telling you about problems that you don't need to worry about. You're getting more information than you need. I think what we should do is get ourselves reorganized here, and we're going to probably put on the macro lens and move in a bit, and let's get ourselves set up. I got to get this paint all thinned out and shaken or stirred. I am so glad I bought this. It is so handy. It works so good. I find it works much, much better than that paint shaker thing I got in the back. Although occasionally I still do use it. After I've done this, I'll shake it up if I think there's a lot of maybe pigment stuck around the upper part of the rim. You know what I mean? After I've stirred the sludge out of the bottom, I'll go and put this in the paint shaker and shake it up. I might do that today with the new one. It depends on what it's going to look like when I open it up. Sometimes you open them up and there's, they've been sort of stored on their side a little bit, and the pigment won't be down in the bottom where it's supposed to be. Anyway, let's get going here. Yeah, I like this mug. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Yeah, let's get going here. Okay, I was noticing that my rotator here, sometimes I turn it on and it wasn't always starting. And I'm thinking that possibly the battery's become low here, because there's been a couple of times that I've accidentally turned it on and it's ran for a couple of hours. It's amazing it would run for so long on just one little battery. So yeah, we're just going to check that out before we get started here. Then we'll mix up our paint. Well, I don't know. Guess that's not the problem. 1.493 volts. That's almost 1.5 volts. So it's still right up. Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe there's another problem. Okay. Now, the edges are fairly clean here, and yeah, there is supposed to be 10 milliliters in one of these little pots or jars, and I don't know if okay, this I don't think this thinner weighs the same as water does, but generally one milliliter weighs, or 1 milliliter volume is 1 gram in weight for water, but I don't think it's quite the same with this. So maybe I should get my little scale here and just sort of, I'd like to get it to 50-50, but I don't think I can get that much more in there. Because then when I use my paint stirrer, it throws it out. So, and that's not good. Okay, just let me push stop here for a minute and get myself organized. You know, Missy the dog has not come by yet, and it's almost 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, her eyes are probably turning yellow by now. All right. Yeah, I may not be able to thin this out as much as I'd like. Maybe what I should be doing is transferring it into a larger container, because we've only put in about half as, if I wanted 50-50, well, that might be enough there, you know. That'd be like, well, it'd be like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can find a larger container and just transfer everything and add another. Well, maybe I don't want it too thin either. Can never make up my mind, can I? Okay, now this might be courting disaster, but we're going to give it a try here. If I put the agitator right to the bottom, it might not throw it out the sides. Whoops. So I did it again. Okay. Oh, I just heard Missy's door. I think I gotta clean up here. Yeah, I gotta clean up here. We'll straighten this out later. Oh, Hello, Missy. Come on in and warm your paws. Morning, Max.
Booty blood.
It's a cold one again.
Slipperier than yesterday.
Cold and slippier than yesterday. Oh my.
Bumpy, oily steel.
There we go.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah. Slept in again. Three mornings in a row now.
Slept into what, 5?
No, no, slept into about 7.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow, we were up before you.
Yeah,
Got
my.
Rainey's car into the garage. Yeah.
I saw the car leave. I actually saw the car leave. So. Yeah, I heard my alarm go off at 6 o'clock. It automatically goes off at 6 every morning, but I'm usually up and long before. And I thought, oh, I'll just close my eyes just a little bit.
Good for you.
Next thing I knew, 7 o'clock.
Good for you. It's the last cold morning of the winter. And it's the 1st of March, so March has come in like a lion and go out like a lamb.
I was just talking about that yesterday. Yeah.
Almost a whole section of the newspaper this morning was devoted to prairie weather in the next number of decades and how short the winter is going to become.
Oh, really?
Global warming.
Well, that's good news. In a way.
In a way,
Oh, wonder what happened.
we just have to live longer.
Oh, you know what? She suddenly got an itch real bad and just couldn't, had to deal with it. Oh my goodness.
She's scratching her nose.
Yeah, scratching her nose. Okay, come on. There you go. There you go. All right. That's a good dog. That's a good dog. So we missed the segment where you and I are complaining about the weather.
Yeah, I looked for that last night.
Yeah. Oh, see you later.
Thanks for your kindness.
Bye, Missy.
Goodbye, Uncle Rod. Nice sunny day.
It's sunny, that's for sure. Yeah, sunny and blue sky. But boy, is it cold. Whew. Missy the dog. Missy the dog. Okay. Now we'll get this cleaned up. I think I'll just use hot soapy water. You know what? I wonder if I should do my back flushing with water instead of using isopropyl here. I'm almost out of this 70% anyway. Yeah, maybe I'll try that today. I'll try and do my back flushing and everything with water when I do the color change, and then I'll do the cleanup, of course, using the Windex, which I know people are going to tell me is going to hurt my airbrush. Well, it hasn't so far. Been using it now for what, 6 years? Okay. Okay, I did not find a larger jar. And what I did was I took this into the back room and I put it in my paint shaker for about, well, I'm guessing 5 minutes. Okay. Still pretty full. Still pretty full here. Now I think we're all ready to go. What I've got is water here, and it's just very, very minutely, you might say, added some dish soap. So Now for those 4 pieces we definitely don't need that much, but as I've said too many times, it's just as easy to pour back a lot as a little. Okay, I think we've probably got most of it. Okay, don't know if I needed to do that or not. Well, I guess I do if I want to use the same pipette. I mean, those pipettes are cheap, but they're not that cheap. And as Nigel Frampton said, they're bad for the environment. I agree with that. Mind you, right here in the center of Canada, I don't know how they're going to reach their way to the ocean. And some poor unsuspecting whale swallows it and gets indigestion problems. Okay. Guess plastic bags are the worst. Okay, I'm going to slip on the macro lens here and get ourselves recomposed, and hopefully this is going to work out. Okay, I guess we lost about 15 minutes or so here because I caught my foot on the air hose for the airbrush, and I pulled it over, and I lost probably a lot of the paint that was in the reservoir. So I had to clean that up, and anyway, I think we're finally ready to go here. Okay, let's get our fan going. And our rotator. And I have the airbrush set for 10 pounds. I might have to increase it. We'll see what happens. Oh, gotta take the needle cap off. No, for sure, I don't want to forget to put it back on when I do the back flushing, or you know what's going to happen to the end of my finger. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to slowly increase the retract my needle very slowly and see what happens here. Did I say I was going to put it on thin? That's terrible. I better put on my stronger glasses. That was a little better. Okay, that one went pretty good. Just let me turn the fan off here so I don't have to shout over top of it. Okay, you should be able to hear me better now. Yeah, this is the last one. It's probably done almost perfectly, you might say. I think when that dries, it's going to be right. But as for this this first one here, I'm kind of concerned about that. I think it'll be okay once it's dry. We'll take a close look at it. But as for this first one here, that's terrible. I wonder if I should rinse that off and redo it. Although most of where it's pooling is going to be hidden by the barrels of the gun. So let's just wait and see how it looks after it's completely dry. It might be okay. Yeah, it might be okay. Well, we'll soon know, won't we? Okay, this is the 66. Now, in retrospect, it could be that thinning out the 20 to 60% was not a good idea. It could be that, 40% would have been better. Okay, let's get ourselves recomposed here, and we're going to paint. This is going to be the base, isn't it? Yeah. Well, we seem to be just fraught with silly mistakes here. Forgot to push record. Anyway, okay, we'll see if we can do better on the barrels. And this is the good old 77. Now, when we do the barrels, we're going to want to remember to come at a lower angle so that we get the bottom of the barrel. That should be lots. This time I remembered to press record. Okay, we are all cleaned up here again. Airbrush is put away. Spray booth is shoved back on the other corner of the table. And the water idea, it was not a good idea. And it kind of worked, only where the paint had not dried. If the paint had dried somewhere on the cup, it didn't cut it. So yeah, I went back to Windex. Yeah, we got these pieces here, and this one here with the X on it, that's the one that got sprayed extra heavy, and we were going to check it. I think it's probably shrunk wrapped about as much as it's going to, but we'll wait a bit. I got a ton of editing to do anyway that I should really get at. It's almost 1 o'clock, so I've only got a couple hours or so before I got to have this uploaded onto YouTube anyway. So I better get at that. Make sure that we didn't lose Missy the dog here. Then by that time we should be able to, move right in on this piece and see how it came out. I'm looking at it now, and even just with my normal glasses, it looks pretty good. Now maybe with the macro lens, it'll look like it's caked on pretty bad too, so I don't know. Alright, so we'll see you back here probably, well, what do we got? Just for the fun of it. It's almost 1 o'clock. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be about 2:30. Yeah, a lot of editing to do here, but I enjoy doing it. Oh, speaking of enjoying doing things, I actually enjoyed the airbrushing this morning. Yeah. There's hope. There's hope. Okay, 2:43. It always, always, always takes longer than I think. Okay, let's put on the macro lens and have a nice close look. I am always so very pleasantly surprised at how well that XF paint shrink wraps. I call it shrink wrapping. Anyway, I'm going to call it quits for this afternoon. Thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we're going to see you tomorrow.